Today I'm gonna make a chicken parmesan sandwich with pesto, garlic aioli, and a balsamic reduction. So these are all the things you need for the whole recipe first, but we're gonna break it down and do it into sections. I know it looks like a lot, but some of these things we'll make extra of, so you'll be able to use them with the next sandwich too. Some Prego traditional sauce, white wine vinegar, lightest flavor olive oil, balsamic vinegar, traditional panko breadcrumbs, some sourdough extra large sandwich buns. It doesn't matter what kind you get, just get whatever you want. You're gonna need a splash of milk, some mozzarella cheese, garlic. I like this garlic paste. I think it's easiest to use. If you wanna do fresh garlic, you can. I'm not going to. You need about 5 eggs, some Parmesan cheese. You can get the block and shred it yourself. I got pre-shredded. You'll need some butter. You won't need this much. Ground mustard, oregano leaves, lemon juice. You can do fresh lemon if you want. I'm not going to. Basil, pine nuts, salt, pepper, and then chicken. And you can do as much chicken as you'd like, just however much of a sandwich you want to make. You will also need vegetable oil or some kind of frying oil, but I didn't get that out, I forgot. Okay, so we're gonna start with the garlic aioli. You need 3 egg yolks, only the yolk. And this one busted, but it's totally fine, not a big deal. So just go ahead and mix this. Just whisk them really, really, really good. Then we're gonna add maybe a teaspoon of white wine vinegar and about a tablespoon of lemon juice. And you can use fresh lemon, doesn't matter. And whisk it really, really, really good. Okay, so now we're gonna start adding our olive oil, and you need to add it really, really, really slowly, like a few drops at a time at first, and whisk like your life depends on it, because your aioli does depend on it. So we're whisking steadily, because if you add too much at a time, your aioli sauce will break. So we're just gonna keep adding and whisking until this changes, and you'll be able to see the change. See that it's changed in color and consistency. And this is what our homemade mayonnaise looks like. So you can use different oils. You want to use a mild flavored oil. That's why I use the lightest flavor olive oil. Now we're gonna take the garlic, and you would want to use about 3 cloves of the garlic. But with this paste, 1 teaspoon of paste replaces 1 medium clove. So we're gonna do some of that and eyeball it. We're gonna whisk it in. Then we're gonna add some salt. About, I don't know, 2 teaspoons. Good. You can either put a lid on this or put plastic wrap on it, and you want to chill it in the fridge for about 30 minutes or however long it takes to make the rest of your stuff. All right, now we are going to make our pesto. So we're going to add about 2 cups of basil into our food processor. Just like this. And our pine nuts. We have 1/3 cup of pine nuts. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. We're going to plug this in. I've done that on a video before. It's not working. And then it was me. Okay, now we're gonna add in our Parmesan cheese. If I do it like that, it's going everywhere. And our garlic, salt, and pepper. So put as much salt in as you like. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon. Pepper, I'm just gonna do a couple shakes. And garlic, we want about 3 teaspoons. I just eyeball it because you can't have too much garlic. Well, you probably can, but. this is what it is looking like. And now we're going to stream in our oil. Okay, so now we have half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, mildly flavored. So I'm gonna turn this on low and stream it in. We're gonna call it a day. I'm gonna scoop this into a little bowl. We're gonna cover it and put it in the fridge. So I went ahead and took 3 tablespoons of butter and put it in this bowl to soften from our stick. I have a pan out to start our balsamic reduction. I've mixed just some flour with salt and pepper. I use the kosher salt, doesn't matter what you use. I'm gonna add a little kosher salt to these panko breadcrumbs. I'm gonna mix that a little bit. And then here, I've got 2 eggs and a splash of milk. That'll just help it combine. You can grab a fork and make a mess and just whisk these together until they're all the way combined. Go ahead and put our balsamic vinegar into our pan. You can get any kind of balsamic vinegar that you'd like. We're gonna slide over here and we are going to add just about 2 cups. All right, so now that it's in here, I am going to turn it on a medium-high heat. And then later we're gonna be prepared to turn that down. I learned this trick from the internet. You can use a popsicle stick. I'm gonna use toothpicks because we wanna know when this is about 75% reduced. So if we poke in our toothpick, which is split in half, we will be able to see how much it's reduced. So that's where it's at right now. We're gonna set this to the side and we'll know when we dip in our next toothpick how much it's reduced. All right, so now we're gonna take our chicken breast and we're gonna flatten it out where it's nice and even. Normally I do it with plastic wrap on top of it, on top of a cutting board, but the man I watched on the internet did it in a Ziploc bag and I'm gonna do that too. So we're just going to beat it until it is much, much thinner. Take it and put it on our thing. And we're gonna trim off some of this nastiness on the side. You want a nice even piece of chicken that's gonna fit well on a bun. So I can actually, and I'll fry both pieces, I just won't eat both of them on the bun. So we're gonna cut it a little more to trim it up to where it's about bun sized. So right there to me is about bun sized. I think I'm gonna put it back in this bag and flatten it just a little bit more, and then I'll come right back. All right, so now we've got our chicken just the way we want it. Like I said, I'm only gonna put this one on the bun, but I'm gonna fry these other pieces because I don't want them to go to waste. We're first gonna dip in our flour, salt, and pepper mixture. And you wanna make sure you get all the sides coated with that, including the little crevices and cracks. We're gonna shake it, and then dip it into our egg mixture, and you wanna get it completely coated in the egg mixture, so I just turn it a few times just to make sure all of it's getting coated. And then into our panko mixture. Oops, and we're gonna get a little bit on the counter just for fun. And once it is completely coated, a little more on the counter to add a little flavor. Counter needed to taste it. We're gonna let it rest right over here while we do the other pieces. So flour, egg, panko, and while we do that, Mom is going to go stir the balsamic reduction because we want it to simmer, not boil. So you don't have to babysit it, but you do want to stir it every couple minutes. And if it starts to boil, just turn down the heat. Add our vegetable oil or whatever frying oil you want to use to a deep pan like this and get it heating up. Also, I accidentally brought out ground mustard. I didn't eat ground mustard. I don't know why I got that out, so I put that up. I don't want people to think, well, I got that out and didn't eat it. So sorry, didn't actually use it. Oil's heating up. We've been stirring the balsamic reduction. It's working its way to be where it needs to be. We turned on the heat just a little bit. Oven is preheating to 375, and now we're gonna mess with our butter. So we have our 3 tablespoons here. We're gonna add garlic to it. Salt, not a lot, probably a teaspoon. A little pepper. And some oregano. Just a couple little shakes of that. We're gonna take our fork and we are going to incorporate it all together. Before we actually use it, we'll stir it again, but I just wanted to get it flattened out a little bit, that way it would get to room temp a little easier. All right, oil's ready, so we're gonna put in our chicken. We do want to hear a nice sizzle when we put it down. And the big piece, lay it out away from you, not towards you. Safety first and all. And then we can toss this. I use these ice tongs to turn things. I think they're just easier to use, but you can use whatever tongs or spatula you'd like. I just like those. We're gonna let that sit. We're gonna keep stirring the balsamic reduction. It is definitely darker and getting thicker, but it definitely needs some more time. All right, we're gonna turn it over. Look at that color, beautiful. And let it sit again. I just turned off the stove. I used my meat thermometer to tell me that this is at 165, ready to go. So we've got a piece of aluminum foil. All right, so now I'm gonna take my pasta sauce and put it on top here. And some is definitely gonna drip onto this cookie sheet. And even though not all of these pieces are gonna go on the sandwich, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on all of them. And then I can heat this up for lunch tomorrow and put it on bread if I'd like to. We are also going to stir our balsamic reduction. So while I do this, Mom can show you what that's looking like. Cheese on top of it. Pop these in the oven at 375, being really careful to balance our mountain of cheese. So now we're gonna take our mixed butter, a healthy portion, and we're gonna put it on the top. This is not a low-calorie sandwich. This is not for those of you on a diet. This is like date night treat. Date night with myself. Treat yourself. All right, and then we're gonna put that face up in this pan, and then we're gonna do the other side as well. Again, a generous portion because of the flavor you're gonna get from this just will make everything better. And then we're gonna pop that in the oven on the bottom rack. All right, so this is ready. You can tell because this is our original toothpick, and this one is significantly darker and shorter. So it's reduced by about 75%. We're gonna turn off the heat. We're gonna take it, over here to our little container. And see how it's kind of coating the bottom? That's what we want. We want a good syrup, almost. We're gonna pour it in here. Not sure why I did it on a dish towel because that would have ruined the dish towel. And we are just gonna let this sit and cool off while our chicken and the cheese melts and our bun toasts. right, so we have our bun. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bottom right there. So then we're gonna take our chicken. Yes, this is a huge piece of chicken. And no, I'm not mad about it. Boom. I'm so excited. Okay. Now we take our pesto. Give it a good stir. Put as much or as little as you'd like. You can just slather on your garlic aioli. You absolutely can. To make it look nice for the video, I put it in a pipey bag. By a pipey bag, I mean a Ziploc bag with a hole in it, because we're real fancy. And then last thing we're gonna do is get our balsamic reduction. Now, a lot of people, by people I mean restaurants, will put this in a squeezy tube, but we don't have a squeezy tube, so I'm not going to do that. And we're just going to drizzle it just on the top bun. And normally it would be a little prettier because the drizzle would be more consistent. If you had a spray bottle, that would really be best. But we're just gonna do a few lines of this on here. But this adds so much flavor. Although this was the most irritating part to make, I'll be honest. Okay, and now we're gonna stop, we're gonna take a picture, and then we're gonna try it.
Okay, so Ashley's getting Kevin and I to try this because we have never had this sandwich. The reason that she made this is because she frequents a restaurant in Lexington and they have this chicken Parmesan sandwich. And she absolutely fell in love with it. So she wanted to be able to...
It's like $15 a piece.
It's $15, and she wanted to be able to recreate it, see if she could recreate it. And that way she can save some money if she can make it herself. Because once you've spent the money, you know, you have the stuff.
I need to go for it. It's good. I love the crispy chicken. That's my favorite parts of chicken. But the sauce is good too.
You know, I like that pesto too.
I told you.
The pesto, we've had pesto before and it's very bitter and green.
Mom went back for bite 2.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah,
Do you like that white sauce? It's garlic aioli. I homemade it.
I like
everything there's good.
Honestly, I like everything about it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I like the bun, the toasted bun. I like the garlic butter. You can taste that. You taste the pesto. You taste the aioli. I love the panko breadcrumbs on the chicken.
The chicken is the best part, 100%.
I mean, the whole thing though is
the whole
delicious.
thing's good, but the chicken, I can just the chicken by itself.
It's heavy and rich.
Yeah.
So, and you saw that is a huge monster sandwich. So it's probably 1,000 calories, but you can't think about that. Like Ashley said, this is a date night thing. It is so big that you could half it and you could eat half and your partner could eat half. So that is absolutely delicious.
Definitely worth trying out.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching. So I wanted to show you, this is the next day, and I just wanted to add on to the end of this video that the balsamic reduction has set in the refrigerator all night, and Ashley said it's even better the next day because it's thicker, and it was more of a syrup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's really thick like a syrup.
I put a lot on there too because I do like the taste of it a lot.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And then that's what the sandwich looks like the next day.
Yeah. So she's assembling it now.
Ta-da!